while, but I guess got what you deserved in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if you read the notes in the programme, what I said, there's no easy international football matches, and sometimes people look at our senior team and they see us we're playing Moldova or Ukraine, and everybody thinks we've got a divine right to turn these teams over. It doesn't happen at international level, at any level, you know. So they came and made it hard for us. They closed us down really well in the first half, and we had to work hard and grind it out. And if that was a tournament game, you come away with a 1-0 victory, that's 3 points on the table, and that's international football in many respects.
They were very well organised, weren't they? And I guess as an exercise in developmental age group football, it's good for players to come and have to try and break down a team like this.
Very much so, and you know, you have to also realise that this is the squad we had out tonight is nowhere near our squad when everybody's available. If you take Nick Powell, Nathaniel Chelba both played in the 21s this evening. Raheem Sterling's in the senior squad. Nathan Redmond would normally be here in the group. So we've got a lot of boys who would normally be here. So this is nowhere near. That's their best. But they're preparing for their prelim round. I think they meet up next week for that. So we know we you know what we've got. I was really pleased in terms of the way that our boys applied themselves. It's a new squad that's put together. You know, the way they applied themselves. We've given two boys two debuts from one from Carlisle and one from Swindon this evening, and they both acquitted themselves reasonably well for the first time out. But as you said, international football is difficult, and sometimes you have to grind it out.
Players that perhaps have come in giving you something to think about with going on to the next stage of qualifying then without some of your more established players?
Very much so, because as I said many times before, every English player in their year group have got an opportunity, provided they're doing the right thing by their clubs and they're performing well, and we're all watching games. People look at tonight and say, well, all of a sudden, where's Bradley Potts appeared from? I've watched Bradley Potts playing for Carlisle United. I've watched Miles playing for Swindon. So these boys just doesn't appear from nowhere. So you watch them, and you monitor, and when the opportunities come along, as it did for them for this event, as we call it, you know, they get the opportunity and they've got to obviously try and show what they're about. And even if I mean, I'm not saying they did because they didn't have bad games, but even if they have a bad performance, that's not the end of the world for them, because we've been monitoring them, so we know what they're capable of. And it's like first time out in international. Sometimes it's like your first time back in a big school. You can remember what that was like first time going to a big school. So it's the same for these boys. You know, so some decent individual performances tonight.
And what about the likes of Powell and the players you've gone up to the under-21s? Do you expect to get them back for the championships? Hopefully, if you get there.
Time will tell, because that's the way we operate. If Stuart thinks it's right for them to stay at 21, then so be it. Then we move on and we'll find the next crop, because that's international football, that's development football, and that's part and parcel of it, and we have to deal with that. So, and we've done it all the way through.
And what about the facilities you found here from a local perspective? Has this been as good as you find it elsewhere? It's
been excellent. We've used it before. We came here a few years ago with our under 16s. People like John Joe Shelby playing in. And John Joe's obviously in the first team senior pool. We played a game against Wales a few years ago, 92-year group. We've also trained here with a 91-year group prior to playing at Shrewsbury, so we know the facility, and you know the facility is excellent. And in terms of the support this evening we've received from the crowd, really good again, as normal. So yeah, and again, it's another area I would come back to.
Are these almost the most exciting squads for you to work with? Because you know when you're passing players onto the under-21s and hopefully the senior squad, you've done your job. When you're getting in new players, you're sort of starting again, aren't you?
Every squad you name and every squad you work with is a different challenge. And part of working youth development, you've got to remember the children to a certain degree, and you've got to be patient with them. But equally, you know, you've got to be demanding with them as well, and that's why I am with them. So yeah, I gave them a challenge, and they challenged me as well.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.